Someone shared that Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a former U.S. senator and sociologist, once said, if the newspapers of a country are filled with good news, the jails of that country will be filled with good people. Someone shared about Beijing's version of the Clean Internet Plan. He shared an example. For news about Hong Kong, Taiwan, the US, and Japan that are presented on domestic platforms such as TikTok, Weibo, WeChat, and Zhihu, on the surface, it might appear that the information seems to be posted by ordinary people. It was actually carefully curated, screened, and pushed to mainland citizens. What you can see and read is in reality what the CCP wanted you to see and read. Someone said on October 12th, Xi Jinping went to Chaozhou to visit the Marine Corps soldiers. On October 14th, Shenzhen's municipal government issued the recommended list of family emergency supplies. And earlier in the month, many cities in China held air defense training to remind citizens to prepare for airstrikes. The Sichuan government asked residents to store food. Certainly it's possible that these might be just the various forms of the CCP's deception, but for the ordinary people, difficult times may indeed arrive soon. Someone said 2 months ago, some advertisements regarding military attacks were posted in places across Beijing and Shanghai. If Beijing really wants to engage in a war, it will be an ambush, so there should be no need to worry. However, it's worth pointing out that the distribution of meat tickets is really not a positive sign. Chinese state media reported that the Marine Corps are ready to land on the island. Someone shared an article published by the CCP's mouthpiece, People's Daily, with the name to Taiwan's Ministry of Intelligence and Governance stand on the right side of history. This netizen felt that this may be a piece of the CCP's pre-war propaganda. Someone shared that a poll conducted by the Taiwan Democracy Foundation shows that 80% of the people think that democracy is the best political system, and if Beijing attacks Taiwan, 79.8% of the people are willing to go to the battlefield to defend Taiwan. Someone shared an example of alleged group reincarnation. It was said that these in the pictures were all classmates and employees of the same school during the Republic of China era. This time, they all reincarnated to Taiwan. Recently, many countries have reported a significant increase in confirmed COVID-19 cases. 10,925 new cases were confirmed in Italy, which continued to hit a single-day high. 32,427 cases were confirmed in France within 24 hours. The number of new cases in a single day continued to hit a record high. 16,171 new cases were confirmed in the UK within a single day. The country's total has exceeded 700,000 with 150 new deaths. Someone said 34 more symptomatic cases also were reported in China, but the government did not say where they came from or whether they would eventually turn into symptomatic cases. Chinese media published an article about Qingdao's epidemic situation and said the source of the epidemic has been identified. Foreign media were all shocked by Chinese people's efficiency because Qingdao completed the testing of 10 million people in just 5 days. It was said that a Chinese national living in New Zealand commented after reading it, "I can't help tearing up for my motherland and my fellow Chinese people." Someone said, "I'm in Qingdao. Even though they claim that they have tested 10 million people in just 5 days, I've consulted relevant personnel. The speed is really not credible." Someone shared a receipt issued by Wuzhong People's Hospital in Suzhou. It shows the testing cost was 120 yuan. A netizen from Shanghai shared, "I paid for my own testing in Shanghai. The cost was close to 200 yuan, but the accuracy rate might be only 11%. Someone said, in China, the current charge for nucleic acid testing in large cities' hospitals is between 100 and 200 yuan. The total cost of testing in Qingdao is around 30 million, which is not a heavy burden for the city. Someone said, in China, the practice of mass testing after locking down the city will exist for a long time and will be carried out in major cities in turn. The real purpose of doing so may be that relevant interest groups will be taking advantage of these opportunities to make money." Someone said currently testing in Qingdao is free. Those who have been to Qingdao but left afterwards must be tested at their own expense. The cost is between 80 to 150 yuan. Someone said even if all the tests in Qingdao are paid for by the local government, after all, these are still the ordinary people's money. Overseas edition of the CCP's mouthpiece, People's Daily, said foreign media praised China for controlling the spread of the virus. The number of virus infections has dropped sharply. However, these chat messages show that in an area, an order of having 130 people tested was given from above. This clearly implies that the central government might be forcing local governments to commit fraud. Someone shared, "This has not been confirmed yet, but I heard that patients in Wuhan who once were infected but recovered have tested positive again. Some hospitals have allotted an entire floor for such patients. Wuhan Union Hospital has also accepted such patients." It was said that the strange thing about this virus is that it recurs in the winter season. The recent weather in Wuhan has been very cold, and the temperature has dropped sharply. Perhaps it is for this reason that the above situation has occurred. Someone said, "A lead doctor at our local hospital once predicted at the end of April that it is very likely another outbreak will occur in October." Someone said, "This situation is not surprising because some institutions and schools in Wuhan have issued warnings already. People will also require to wear masks while waiting at bus stations." This video shows an American doctor's advice regarding what to do after contracting COVID-19.
Friends and families, as COVID has become so rampant and so difficult, I am taking this position to show you what are the things that we are doing today in the ICU to help a lot of our patients. If you look at my feet, you look at my knees, my elbows, and my position. So what I showed you is one of the maneuvers that will help you move the oxygen into your lungs and move your lung secretions. COVID will attack the lower parts of your lungs, seep out fluids that is as thick as glue, block the lungs, and lead to suffocation, literally, and respiratory failure. Many studies, without a shadow of a doubt, have shown that the best way that we can deliver oxygen is we, the ICU team, place patients in a position on their stomach. Even the better position is what I showed you at the beginning of this video, where you're on your hands and your knees, then you drop your elbows like this and you put your head down and you breathe in deep and you cough. This is called proning. Proning, P-R-O-N-I-N-G, proning position. That position, search it on the internet so you'll see even more illustrations and details, but that position is extremely effective in mobilizing all that gunk and thick secretions, glue-like secretions out of the bottom of the lungs, which is the bigger part of the lungs, out so you can cough it up. And that will recruit your lungs and protect your lungs from suffocating with COVID. A lot of deaths occurred yesterday in our hospital from COVID. And it's not a joke, and it's not a hoax, and I can tell you we're not fabricating the data. You have doubts, and you think we, the doctors, are fabricating the data? You can drink ginger and curcumin that is sweetened with a little bit of natural honey. It will soften all those secretions and will come out. With this, I hope you stay safe. Yes, I am Dr. Rafai. I am a doctor here in Panama City, Florida, and I care for patients with acute COVID in intensive care units of all our hospitals. Love you all. Stay safe. Share this.
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flying high